Shalom, 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 Yasha This your boy, Brother Shamuel Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called, He is proud, he neither keepeth at home. All right. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called, He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. All right. And this is from the Sun, the New York Sun. It says, American warships line up off Venezuelan coast as defiant Maduro calls 4 million recruits to defend homeland. All right. So you got the military, American military lining up in Slovakia. Right. The American military, right, warships lining up off the coast of Venezuela. All right. So it says American military warships are positioning themselves off the shores of Venezuela in what Pentagon officials are calling a counter-narcotics mission targeting Latin American cartels. The display of force has led President Nicolas Maduro to call up millions of workers, farmers, and fishers to serve as a bulwark and an unknown threat. It says as many as 8 missile destroyers and nuclear submarines are currently on patrol off Venezuela's shores. The San Diego-based USS Lake Erie was spotted crossing through the Panama Canal on Friday night, while the USS Samson was seen approaching the canal 12 days ago. It has since gone radio silent. The USS Gravely and USS Jason Dunham are already stationed in nearby Caribbean waters, while readers reports that the USS San Antonio, USS Iwo Jima, and USS Fort Lauderdale are all in theater, positioning an additional 4,500 service members, including 2,200 Marines. Says our prayers are with the courageous men and women of our armed forces as they approach the coast of Venezuela, right? Venezuela, all right? Just think about that, right? All right. It says Representative Carlos Jimenez of Florida, a member of the House Armed Services Committee and Venezuelan Democracy Caucus, posted on X late Saturday with loosely based illustration depicting American military positions. The naval maneuvers, according to the Pentagon's new Chief of Operations, Admiral Daryl Claude, who was appointed to his point just a week ago, said that the positioning gives President Nero and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth flexibility in their options, though he did not say what the military operations will be. It says Mr. Trump has frequently said he wants to stop fentanyl and other narcotics traveling north from the region. He also views Mr. Maduro as a narco president running a smuggling cartel dubbed the Cartel of the Suns. And in early August, doubled the bounty on his head for 50 million. It says in April, he designated Venezuela's gang Tren de Agua, as well as the MS-13 and 6 Mexican groups as foreign terrorist organizations. It says after gaining power in 2013 following the death of Hugo Chavez, Mr. Maduro in 2015 stripped the opposition leadership in parliament of its power and set up a parallel ruling body. He returned to office in 2018 and was several international bodies, including the Organization of American States and European, called a sham election. His second term commenced with an illegitimate election in 2024, which he declared himself the winner before any vote tallies were announced. Mr. Maduro stands accused of jurisdictional killings, tortures, disappearance, as well as corruption and embezzlement of billions of dollars through the theft of gold and natural resources. It says, while Mr. Maduro's ambassador to the United Nations, Samuel Moncada, appeared to the body's Secretary General to declare the American naval buildup a threat to the Venezuela sovereignty, at least two Caribbean nations, Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana, have reportedly offered support to America's efforts in the region. Last week, Mr. Maduro sent 15,000 troops to the Colombian border in what he described as an effort to combat drug gangs and protect homeland security. Over the weekend, he congratulated as many as 4 million patriots for signing up for the great enlistment day of the Bolivarian militia. All right. Let's see. Make sure we got everything. It says on Sunday, Senior Associate at the Center of Strategic and International Studies, Future of Venezuela Initiative, Antonio de la Cruz, described the appearance on a state television by Mr. Morado's top general, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, in which he used similar language to Maduro's in describing an impending threat from what would be imperialists as classic Chavismo propaganda. All right. Said the international community must not fall for this inverted heroic script. The enemy is not the U.S. The enemy is the impunity of narco state that hijacks the sovereignty of Venezuela's people, he wrote on X, right? And of course, it would be something to that effect. All right, but we understand, all right, this devil, he's never satisfied, all right? Talking about Esau, Edom, all right? Let's just get a couple of scriptures, okay? But, we understand what Venezuela has to offer, okay? What Venezuela has to offer, they have, I believe Elder Apostle Tahar had did in his video, right? Their resources, what is oil, all right? Is that oil, okay? And this, we know that this devil, he's got to have it all right? That's why ultimately they're going to be coming out with the mark, all right? The Kadagma, all right? Because they ultimately just want all power, all right? They're never satisfied, all right? Let's get the book of Job, chapter 9, and verse number 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right? And, it was told, even from the beginning, right? When we go to the book of Genesis 27:41. Here we go. Let's start at verse number 38, right? After Isaac blessed Jacob, all right, because Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. All right, so he didn't get his birthright. All right, he sold it, right? People keep saying Jacob stole it. No, Jacob didn't steal it, right? Esau sold his birthright. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, right? Crying after he done sold his birthright, you know? It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay? And it says what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? And we just went over this lesson about who the wicked is. All right? Malachi 1 and 4. All right? They shall call them the border of wickedness. Okay? Talking about Esau, Edom. All right? So it says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Okay, so his blessing, what he was going to have, the fatness of the earth. But how? It says, and by thy sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay, but his blessing was the sword. So he was going to take everything by violence. All right, by the sword. Okay, his blessing, all right, are these swords. So what is he doing? What is he's conquering the earth, right, through his sword. All right. And what is he doing now? He's going over to Venezuela, right? Talking about, hey, we're going for, this is for narcos, all right? But ultimately we know, all right, that land, has an abundance of oil, and they want that oil, right? Just as they did in Iraq with your boy Saddam Hussein, right? The same thing, all right? They'll claim it's something else. We're going to do a war on this, all right? And ultimately, we know the true agenda is to what? Is to gain those resources, all right? To gain those resources. Something that I wanted. So it says, for by thy sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. In the scriptures, let's go to the book of Salakia. Oh, let's go here real quick. All right, let's go to the book of is it Thessalonians or is it first? It might be first. Nope, it is. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 3. Right, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay, and he's being revealed, right? The wicked is being revealed, all right? And it's Esau, Edom, all right? And he's trying to come with all these different aliases and different names, but we understand, all right? We see through his operations, all right, how he acts, the things that he's doing. All right, he's being revealed through the power and spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the temple of the Most High. All right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. All right, what did they do? Right, they came into power and they started to paint the likeness of themselves, all right, as who? As the Heavenly Father, as the Son, as the prophets, and these different things, okay? And in these latter days, he's being revealed of who he is and his wickedness, all right? Now, and people are, we are not ignorant to Satan's devices, okay? So people see, this setup, right, where they have, why are you sending all these submarines, to Venezuela, all right? You sending all these troops, all right, to say you're going to fight a war on drugs or whatever you say, all right? But you're sending, all these different submarines and different weaponry into the area, all right? Because we know, what you're about, all right? And we're calling it out, all right? What is that? Book of, the book of Micah, right? Chapter 2 and verse number 1. Okay, it says, woe to those who oppress the poor. All right, so it says, Micah chapter 2, verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right. Now remember, the son of perdition is being revealed. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence. Right. What is his blessing? The sword. All right. And by the sword, he was going to have the fatness of the earth. He was going to take the earth, right, through his swords, through his weaponry. All right. You got the modern day sword. You got these guns. You got these missiles. You got these ICBM missiles. All right. You have all these different capabilities now. Okay. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. And, they set up these different government officials. And when they don't do what they ask them to do, then they come up with a plan to set them up to go to war. All right. And you see they're ready to try to go to war with Venezuela. All right. Like, and they'll call it a war on drugs. All right. This is Matthew 24. Let me see. Salakia. Trying to get to the point where, Yahawashi talked about it. I think that was it, Salakia. Okay. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things shall come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay. And you have this devil, man. He's setting up wars and rumors of wars. All right. He's coming through, submarines through the Panama Canal, right? Ready to make war. All right. Because this devil wants to have, everything, right? He wants to have all resources and all powers. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, right? These are the times that we're living in, people. All right. And the wicked is being revealed. Like I say, this is not, this is a time to stay awake. As the scriptures say, this is high time to awake out of sleep. All right. So it says, and they covet, this is Micah chapter 2, verse 1 again, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. All right. And you see, they said that they called on 4 million farmers and, workers, just regular people to come and fight, if this war is about to pop off. All right. But ultimately we know that Esau, they want to take over everything. They want these resources. Okay. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. Right. And let's see. Let's start at verse 2. We'll work our way down. So it says, Obadiah chapter 1, of course, verse number 2. It says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised," man. All right. It says, "Thy pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" All right. And that's how this devil is. That's how, Babylon is, who's going to take me down to the ground? All right. I'm going to spread my military power throughout the earth. Who's going to stop me? All right. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahawah Bahasham. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how cut off?" It says, "Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?" Right? If a robber robs your house, right, is he not going to leave some stuff? Right? That's how Esau is. Esau leaves nothing. Esau wants it all. All right? And he's using his blessing of the sword to take it. He's going to take it by violence. All right? And take over the land. All right? It says, if grape gatherers came, would they not leave some grapes? All right? Some just fall just through gravity. Right? But Esau would take even the ones that fell on the ground, leaving nothing left. All right? That's how coveted he is. Okay? It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" All right? Through the power and spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. All right? And we are showing and exposing who this devil is. All right? And what he's about. All right? Let's get Salakia. Let's get the book of Habakkuk, right? Habakkuk 2 and verse number 4. It says, "But his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him." All right, this devil's soul is not lifted up. He's not right, man. All right, he's programmed. All right, he's a programmed demon, and all he can never have enough. Okay, enough power, enough anything. All right, and you see it, right, and it can't be hidden. All right, it says, "But the just shall live by faith." It says, "Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home." All right. Another way you can tell, he's always in somebody else's business, right? Somewhere else in some other land, talking about he's got to go to war about something. All right. It says, "Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and as deaf, and cannot be satisfied." Right? He can't. He can't until he has everything. And he wants full control. Now he wants to be like the Most High at this point. All right? He wants full control of the earth and everything of it. All right? And he's using that sword, all right, to his advantage. It says, "Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, and you got this place, Babylon the great melting pot, where he's gathered all these different nations, all right, and one big plot. He wants them, everybody to be under his rulership, under his authority, okay? And guess what? The Lord is going to put the spirit upon these other nations, all right, to they're ultimately right now pissed off, but they're going to be fed up, all right? And they're ultimately going to come and destroy this devil, all right, through the arrows, all right, through the sword, all right. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, all right. And then guess what? It's coming, okay. It's coming, all right. And this devil, man, right, is being revealed, all right, and his tactics and the things that he does, all right. So I just wanted to do this lesson. Like I say, Lord's will, this was edifying, right? But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kol Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another. Continue to pray for the downfall of this wicked place, Babylon the Great, man. All right, and Esau, Edom, and their kingdom. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right, and with that, we say, ball, and shalom.